Picture this. You're completely alone facing certain death, like on a frozen mountain, no hope of rescue, and all of a sudden you feel a presence, almost like someone's there with you, a companion.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling, right? And, well, there's a name for this. It's called third man syndrome. You ever hear that?
I have actually. It's super interesting. Like it makes you wonder about what our brains are capable of, especially when we're right on the edge, survival instincts and all that.
Totally. And that's what we're going to deep dive into today. Third man syndrome, we've got some excerpts from Texto Peg It Out that talk about it.
Okay,
And
cool.
we'll look at some stories, what science says about it, the whole deal.
Sounds good.
So, okay, this third man syndrome, it's been reported like all over the world, right? Throughout history.
Yeah, exactly. Like you hear about it from explorers, soldiers, people who have lived through these really intense, dangerous situations, people who really had to fight to survive.
Yeah, like facing death kind of situation.
Exactly.
So our source here, it's got some pretty wild stories like Reinhold Messner, the mountain climber.
Oh yeah, I know him.
He had this experience after his brother died during a Himalayan expedition back in 1970.
Wow.
And then there's Ernest Shackleton, the Antarctic explorer.
Yeah, yeah.
Him and his crew in 1916, they were stranded down there, and they felt this presence too.
Crazy. What else is in there?
There's this one, I think it's even weirder. Two climbers, Wojtek Kurtika and Robert Schauer. In 1985, they both felt the third man, like at the same time while they were climbing in the Himalayas. Can you imagine that?
Whoa, that's wild. Two people feeling it at once?
Yeah. So what's going on there?
Well, the really interesting thing is that science is starting to explain it a bit. The Lausanne Institute of Technology,
Mm,
they've been doing some really cool research, and they were actually able to like trigger this third man sensation in a lab.
really? So they can make someone feel like there's another person there, even if they're alone.
Yep, it's pretty wild.
How do they do that?
So they use this robotic arm, and it kind of mimics what the participant is doing, like creating a sensory feedback loop. And when the timing of the robot's movements is just slightly off, people start feeling like there's someone else in the room.
The robot arm, huh?
Yeah, pretty high tech. And get this, they think this part of the brain, the temporoparietal junction, might be what's causing this whole perception.
That's so interesting. But so if this is a survival thing, like some scientists say, why does our brain make us feel like there's another person there? Why not just like give us more energy or make us more focused? Yeah.
Well, that's the big question, right? Like, why a whole other being? We don't really know for sure yet.
Right.
One idea is that maybe it helps us to kind of disconnect from the fear and stress of the situation. Like, if your brain can trick you into thinking you're not alone, maybe you can keep going, keep fighting.
It's like having backup, like someone to share the weight with, even if they're not really there.
Exactly. And the cool thing about that Lausanne study is that it opens up all these possibilities. Like, what if we could learn to use this third man response on purpose? Like, to help people deal with really stressful situations, manage anxiety, all sorts of things.
Yeah, or even just to help people perform better under pressure.
Exactly.
It's like, what if we all have this superpower